And now, podcasting from the sun-scorched desert Southwest, weighing in at a combined total of 340 pounds, Brad Winchester, Tyler McDowell-Blanken, are Gimmick Infringement.
Welcome, everybody, to the Gimmick Infringement Podcast. I am Brad Winchester, and with me, as always, is my tag team partner, Tyler McDowell-Blanken. Tyler, it's Sunday. It is post-Full Gear 2022. I am tired. How are you?
That it is. I'm probably not as tired as you. You had an absolutely a great Saturday, Brad, but a late one. Or not, but great Saturday, and it was a late one at that. I'm doing so well. I thought Full Gear was awesome. Had a really good week, and then, like I said, really enjoyed Full Gear. So grateful to be here with you. I know both of us were super busy with work stuff and personal stuff. So yeah, man, just glad to see you as always, and I can't wait to hear about your weekend on air.
Oh, well, I'm glad you brought that up. It's like, wow, you ready? So yeah,
well, we got to start with Freya
weekend.
first of all on Friday,
Yes.
right? Okay, we got to hear the spinning story for our listeners.
Friday, we had a birthday party to go to. I totally forgot. We dropped the ball on that. On the way out of the school, I met the mother of the kid's birthday, who was like, "Oh, big day, party day. Got to go get ready." And I was like, "Excuse me, today?"
You didn't even play it off.
No, I was like, "No." She's like, "Yeah, it came up quick." And I was like, "No, it didn't. That's a lie. It's not today." My first thought was like, because nobody would have it on a Friday, but I digress.
You texted me, well, I guess I'm going to be at a party for the next 2 hours.
I was so looking forward to going home and crashing. It was audition week at school. The kids auditioned for Guys and Dolls. They did great. It was hard picking the cast, but it was also get to school, work in the morning because I don't have a prep period anymore. Work from like, it got later as the week went on, between 6:30 and 7:30 every day, but not leave until 6:30 or 7:30 at night. Get home. Yeah, Tuesday and Wednesday were my homework nights. So Tuesday night I was up until 12:30, back at it up at 5:30, and then back to the school early. So it was a long week. And then Friday I was like, I just got to sleep. Can't wait to get home. And then it was nope, go to Peter Piper and go on the murder coaster that they have there. I did not anticipate how awful that I would feel after getting off of this thing.
When you told me that, and first of all, anytime you send me a video of you and Freya, it just absolutely makes my day. So thank you for that. And in this case, you sent me a video from Peter Piper Pizza from the Hell Coaster. I think that's how we've named it.
Yes.
First of all, it's been a while since I've been in Peter Piper Pizza, admittedly, but I didn't realize they have coasters like that. I thought they had the basketball, the skee ball, but they have legit spinning coasters.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's not really a roller coaster. You know how it is. It's one of those spinning death machines that you get at a fair, and it's got like a hill in one spot. Well, after going on the first round, I was like, "Oh, thank God!" And then we went backwards. It was truly the worst, and
you felt like you were being swung by Cesaro, by Claudio.
Yes, twice. And then we got off, and I was just like, I'm never doing that again, not ever. And I was like, but at least we'll have pizza, and their pizza is trash. Capital T.
We've been knowing this. I've been telling people in my life this who love it.
There's some people that order it on purpose. Like, why
adults
would you do that? Like
grown ass people.
I would get like a square frozen Totino's pizza well before Peter Piper. And I don't know what any of the ingredients are on one of those bad boys. And I would eat the hell out of that before Peter Piper. So flash forward, Saturday comes around, I got to sleep in. Absolutely. My brain didn't let me do it. Woke up at 7:30, could have slept until probably today and would have still been tired. But we got up, got ready. We had a concert. There was Full Gear. So I got to watch the 0 hour. And then I kind of shut it off in the middle of the Jungle Boy Luchasaurus match because I didn't want to only be able to catch part of the match. I wanted to be able to see the whole thing, or I would have been disappointed. And then we went and watched the Longest Johns, who are a folk music sea shanty band. And I have to pull up the name of this other band that opened for them. because Freya was loving it, but it was way too loud for her. So she was not having a great time. I believe the band is a local band called Reso, RESO, I think. That's the name of it. They're a Tucson-based band that was a really great like folk band. It was a blast, and it was nuts because like people, apparently there's this giant niche for shanties. I just like the music. I've been a choral music fan, so when you can blend a bunch of different things together, I'm really happy about it. I'm like a sucker for choral music and hip hop. It's, I don't know if that's like a subgenre or not, but that's mine. That's the one that I love the most. Like
It needs to be if it's not. Right?
oh my god, like blend the choral stuff with those beats, and it's like all the things I love in one place. If you could make hip hop and folk music work in a way that makes sense, I'll never listen to anything else. But
maybe Max Caster and Anthony Bowens
yes, that's it. Yeah,
modify their opener in 23.
I mean, amazing.
Maybe a little more choral.
Yeah, I mean, Roman Reigns music starts with the choral stuff, and then it goes into, I don't know what genre you would call that, but it's
final boss.
Yeah,
genre.
it's just final boss music. Yeah. So we went, and Tyler, I did not tell you this. This is the first time you're finding out about it. At least 15 people that were there. We're dressed as pirates. There were so many of those like triangular, like ship hats, and people with eye patches and full long coats. Yeah, dead ass serious. People knew the music, and they were stomping and singing, and it was really cool to be a part of that. The band was awesome live. They were so great, so funny. Because the whole point is for a band like that, it is the community engagement. It's like get people to sing along with you and make it participatory rather than just like, no, sit there and listen. It's no, we're only good if you're doing this with us. So the folk band that opened probably doesn't get audience participation like they do at a place like this, where they're like, do you guys want to hear an original work, or do you want to hear something from the 1600s? And everybody was like, 1600s, please. Which is such a weird thing. But Freya was loving it. It was a blast for the most part. My legs are throbbing today because she was on the shoulders for a good period of it. And it's get down. I want to get down. I got to go potty. I got to pick me back up. Put me back up here and all this stuff. And then we got home. I changed. I got ready, and then I headed over to the in-laws' house from about midnight until about 4 a.m. And you can confirm this because I sent you the text message saying I just got done. I don't know what time we're going to be able to record. I love a good Oscar Blues 1050. Great beer. Put me down, Tyler. That beer put me down. I was not ready for the empty stomach 10.5% beer. It got me laying. So there were parts I had to rewatch this morning, because it was like bleary-eyed trying to fight consciousness, like just please stay up. I started the Jeff Jarrett came out, right, with all of his stings. And then the next thing I knew, I was listening to I Fell, and it was a victorious Sting and Darby. Missed the whole match.
It was one of those viewing experiences.
I caught the Acclaimed's entrance and nothing more. I caught most of the women's title match, but I kept falling asleep.
Very good. Okay.
So this morning I went back and watched from the Acclaimed onward and watched the whole rest. I actually caught most of the main event, but it was. I'm never doing that again. Not ever.
It was a one and done.
Yeah. But it was a good time. It was fun. Good. But I'm tired. I want to go to bed right now. But not until we're done with this. Not until we're done editing, and not until we talk about both Full Gear and WWE briefly today.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we get into it, Brad, just a quick shout out to the team over at. Let me make sure I get our name correctly here. The website specifically, richkidmoneybear.com, specifically known as Rich Kid Clothing Line. They are a New York Street based brand. They are a black owned business. I do happen to have on one of their hoodies, Brad, and we have a quick story about this. It's so comfortable. And I don't know if you can tell, but so stylish. Also, we love Rich Kid. They are partnering with 19 Media Group. If you go to their website, we have a code for you. The code is 19 Media. If you type that into your cart when you're ready to check out, you will get 15% off. And we just can't say enough great things about them. Brad, the way that I acquired these great clothes are on Friday.
Sure.
I arrived home to the surprise package, and I opened it, and it says "Rich Kid," clothing line on the label. I don't know if it had money, Brad. Maybe just been Rich Kid. But I opened it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have 2 hoodies in here. I have 2 tees. I know. And then finally, I'll make this quick here. And then, so I opened it. I'm very excited. I take pictures, and I send them to you. And then I believe it was Mo and Warren of the 19 leadership team. And I'm expecting you then to fire off your package and your new clothes, right? And then you tell me you haven't gotten anything yet. And you were a little hot about it for all the right reasons, because I would be too. So then eventually Mo gets back to me and says, "Oh yeah, those are for you guys to share." So they sent it to me, and then I am going to ship half of the goods to you. So luckily you and I figured it out, and you will be receiving a tee and a hoodie. I have a tee and a hoodie. So it worked out, but just want to plug them quickly, man. They really took care of us here. Again, richkidmoneybear.com, code 19media, 15% off. Check them out. Support a Black-owned business. And Brad, you will be receiving your goodies here very, very soon.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I was more laughing about it than I was anything else, because I was like,
Good.
wait a second. Also, I appreciate you bringing up, and I'm glad I didn't have to send the group my package in a DM. So thank you for phrasing. But I'm excited to get my new stuff. We have Black Friday coming up, folks. 19 Media. Go to Rich Kid Money Bear, support that business, support us, and get yourself some nice merch.
Yeah, man. Let's go ahead and jump into it, though. So we'll start with WWE as we usually do, and then kick it over to AEW. We're going to stray away from our usual format, but hang with us. We got something great coming your way. Brad, I just want to kind of recap WWE as a whole, and not necessarily to go match by match for all WWE content this week, because this would be this episode would be longer than a Full Gear pay-per-view.
Yes.
But I want to ask you a few questions here. So specifically thinking about Raw, SmackDown, we can also even throw in NXT, because we've been talking NXT more and more on this show. I want to know whose WWE stock is trending the highest for you after last week's programming. And if we want to add this into the equation, what are your thoughts heading into Survivor Series? Because believe it or not, we have another massive wrestling show this coming weekend. Survivor Series, TD Garden, Boston, Massachusetts this Saturday. Whose stock is highest right now in WWE for you based off of last week? And what's your excitement level heading into this big show, War Games?
I don't know whose stock's highest right now. Like, do you? I can't think.
I
of
do.
anybody.
Oh,
like,
yeah, I have an answer for you.
I would say I'm looking at the card right now, trying to see who's on it, and it's not like the whole thing isn't built yet. I'm sure we're going to get more stuff. Well, sure. Maybe we'll get more stuff. I don't know. Maybe we'll get 1 or 2 pre-show match here or there. I know for sure that Bray Wyatt, probably LA Knight, will be on the card. Bray Wyatt has to be on there for something, right? Like Bray Wyatt Knight on the pay-per-view. Survivor Series is a good place for him to re-debut for his first match back.
Yeah, if he's not been arrested for murdering LA Knight.
Yes.
Are we sure LA Knight is alive in character?
Yeah.
I think homicide is the charge there.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't really have a person whose stock is highest. This Nikki Cross character, I really want to like. I just don't. The like aloof looking around like this thing. What the hell is going on there? It's like, it's not interesting. She looks stupid. Just give me old school Nikki Cross, just badass Nikki Cross back, because she's doing all of that stuff, but she's just looking into the sky and looking off into the distance. So I don't know what's going on there. I'm looking at the matches. Bianca's stock is probably higher than it's ever been. So it's hard to say anybody else. The Bloodline, maybe Sammy. Everybody else is just sort of middle of the road for me, minus Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens coming back is huge.
Yeah, big pop.
Could not be less interested in Ronda versus Shotzi. Like looking at that match on the card is
Predictable outcome.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's a scheduled nap.
Yeah.
So I hate to say that because I can't say I like both talents, but I want to see good things for Shotzi. And she's going to get murdered in that match. So I don't know. And then you have the Judgment Day, AJ Styles, OC stuff still going on. Looking at the card, Rhea Ripley's stock is probably the highest since she's in 2 matches on the show.
Yeah. Really big look for her. I think AJ Styles versus Finn Balor is going to rule, obviously. Like you said, Ronda and Shotzi, probably the least excited for that, unfortunately. But you and I perhaps have never been the biggest Ronda Rousey fans. We know she brings something unique to the table, but this feud, maybe isn't the hottest one for me. Yeah, Bloodline, biggest act in wrestling for sure. Brad, my answer to this question, though, in terms of highest stock, would be someone who's not on the card for Survivor Series currently, but could maybe be added in there. Braun Strowman on SmackDown. So it's not a surprise that he were just going to advance in this World Cup. We know the winner of the World Cup gets the IC title match against Gunther, not Walter, Gunther. So I really love that Ricochet is advancing. He had a great match with Ali. No surprise there. Strowman versus Ricochet this coming week. Really cool. Really interesting matchup here. We know it kind of bleeds into real life with Strowman's tweets about flip-floppers and we already litigated that a couple weeks ago. But my stock is high on him because I think he is for sure winning this tournament. He's beating Ricochet and he's winning this tournament whether I like it or not. And B, the way they booked Gunther to be afraid of him was not in Triple H's WWE, not the route I thought they would take toward building a Haas fight between Braun Strowman and Gunther. I don't think it's needed. I think both of them can be intimidating giant badasses. Based on your visceral reaction a moment ago, I have a feeling you agree with me that you kind of flinched when you saw Gunther cowering in fear.
I had a feeling you were going to say Strowman had the highest stock. Yeah, he has the highest WWE stock. With the fans, I don't know how other fans view him. I don't know how casual fans view him. WWE only fans, hate to say it like that, view him. If you're a WWE shill, this is probably the greatest time in pro wrestling history because your guy Red Pants is really getting booked well. But that asshole made he made Gunther afraid because he took a chop. Like other people have taken a Walter chop. I don't understand this. This doesn't make any sense to me. Why is he running around the ring? The only reason I can think that he ran around the ring is to have an excuse for him to choo-choo train people on the outside, right? Like that's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah, he did that to Eichner and Bartel, right?
Yeah, so that's the only reason that could possibly have been. I don't need that. I don't want him on my screen, to be honest with you. It just like everything about that presentation is irritating to me.
Yeah. How much of it is the tweets for you? Before the tweets, were you still kind of
the tweets, the politics, the look? He just looks like he probably smells bad. Everything about him, I'm saying unfairly. I am saying this unfairly, and I don't care. I don't like him as a person, as a talent. I don't want to see it. Like I don't care. Like what does he bring? Big? There's plenty of big. Like what else does he bring? Great mic skills. He can't spell for shit. And he just has trash takes. Like this guy is just like, why is he there? Oh, he's huge. That's why. I don't need to see it. Like I don't want to see him in a title program. Mm-hmm. The only time I ever liked him was when he was doing stuff for little kids, but they keep flip-flopping between like, I'm this kid-friendly figure and I'm the monster of monsters. Nobody knows what that means. Like, what? Tyler, what?
You bring up great points. Hard to argue there. It's pretty. I mean, it's not baffling that he's risen back this quickly, right? We knew when he signed that they were going to use him. He wasn't just going to be a talent used sporadically. At least during his first run, I think he was someone who people wanted to see. Probably moved a lot of merchandise, like you said, a big attraction for kids. I mean, he won the tag team titles with a child presumably plucked from the audience. We learned Nicholas is the son of an employee backstage, but
Yeah.
I remember that he and Nicholas beat Cesaro and Sheamus at WrestleMania for the gold. So clearly they think highly of him. But to your point, Brad, from the mix of the tweets and lack of correct spelling, with just the current character not really moving the needle, right? Just sort of his character is an imposing big man. The only issue is we already have that archetype on SmackDown, and he's just a lot better in Gunther. Like we already have the imposing giant. I don't know,
Yes.
and we just saw Strowman beat Omos in Saudi Arabia. So I think the match will actually be really good between Strowman and Gunther. Honestly, I think it'll be a total attraction.
I think so too.
Would be a great SmackDown main event. But yeah, the booking of Gunther to be scared of him was just honestly a surprise. I did not see them taking that direction, and I hope it was a one-off. I hope that they just make it as two giants wanting to fight for gold instead of Gunther being a chicken heel. Not a fan of that at all. No need.
I don't understand Strowman's character. He just breathes hard and drools with a little snarl, and that's kind of it. Like
it's kind of like WWE Wardlow, honestly. I know we have the power bomb, but it's very
Wardlow's good on the stick. He never gets it, but like he just WWE has been ripping people off a lot lately.
Yeah, it's Wardlow, but not as entertaining. We're not getting any whispers in the wind from Strowman, I don't think.
Now, don't get me wrong. It's not like Wardlow is a brand new original character. He's just Goldberg repackaged.
Batista/Goldberg.
He's a merger of those two. So it's not like he's anything super original, but at least he can talk. Well, he gets on the mic and it's like, oh, okay, I want to hear this. This is good.
Yeah, he's only getting better.
Yeah, but with Strowman, I don't get it. I don't get the appeal. I truly don't get the appeal because he's not different. He's the same as all these other people, and I don't know what he brings to the table that somebody else doesn't, that they don't already have. So it's just, I don't need to see it. I just don't need to see it. And it's like, I don't really care as much about the political leaning stuff, because that's like, if I did that, I wouldn't have any wrestlers that I would like, probably, because everybody disagrees with everybody on something. It's not that. It's I don't mean like politically. I mean like the way that he plays politics when he started Choose Your Narrative as a classy, he called it a classy promotion, and it's like you were on it. And he has all these takes before he left WWE. I would never work for an indie. If I can't work for WWE, I'll retire. And then he made his own indie, and he's like, that's not an indie. And it's just all the comments he makes about people in the business because he's not from the business.
Yeah.
Just quit, leave, get out of there.
I think that stemmed, or this originated specifically during the early months of COVID. Yeah. Really the first year of COVID, when some independent wrestlers were starting GoFundMes and other campaigns to try to help pay the bills because they no longer could work these weekend dates because everything was shut down. And yeah, like you said, not to just make this whole episode about our misgivings on Braun Strowman, but yeah, it was just a really curious look to tweet and basically say independent wrestlers are either lazy or unprofessional or X, Y, and Z because, their main means of earning money was taken away to no fault of their own due to a global pandemic. It was just a weird position to have. And if he really hasn't learned from that, or he maybe thinks he's drawing heat, and this will be good for his career.
I don't think so.
I don't think it's the right look for him.
He doesn't strike me as somebody smart enough to figure that part out. And I think he just is saying things like without any regard for the consequences is all it is.
Yeah.
He's just saying stuff. It's like, well, I made it. It's like, you had WWE paychecks. You didn't need to make it on the indies.
Yeah, and you have also been blessed to be 6'8" and however much. I mean, he's obviously worked that, right? Total gym rat. But
sure. But if he was 5'8", he would not be at WWE.
Certain genetics where you were given this gift where you're a human anomaly. That's
If Omos was 6'2", he's not in the WWE.
No, absolutely not.
He's not. He's an enormous human being, and that's how he's there. It has nothing to do with talent and work ethic. It's I'm giant, literally a giant. It's why Johnny Hungy was never in the WWE. It's why you see all these.
That guy.
Me too.
More.
Likewise, and I just there's so many reasons that he's successful that have nothing to do with his work ethic and as a wrestler. Not as an athlete, not as a competitor, because we know he's won championships and all that. And like he could hear this, find me and yeet me 400 yards. I
probably both of us simultaneously.
Probably, but if I made him spell things to get to me. so bleep that guy.
That would well, yeah.
I don't ever want to talk about Braun Strowman ever again.
That's
my thought.
I think we can agree to that pack. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and again, in terms of Survivor Series, really looking forward to this, Brad. I think I'm still pretty euphoric from Full Gear, that I haven't quite shifted all of my excitement to Survivor Series yet, but I will. I think the show is going to be awesome. Like you said, most likely my guess would be they bookend the show with both War Games matches. Women's match should be amazing. Excited to see who the mystery partner is.
That should be main event, right? Like the women's War Games match should be main event.
If Sasha Banks or Mercedes Moné or whatever she would be appearing as, if they have her, then yes, that must be the main event in Boston. If they don't,
what if it's
Naomi? Actually love Naomi. If it's Naomi,
open the night.
If it's Naomi or anyone other than Sasha Banks, I think it opens the show. I think the Bloodline are just going to end up closing that show personally. If they have Sasha, all this changes in main events, but if it's not, which I don't think it's going to be,
it's probably Chelsea Green, right?
Women open. We love Chelsea Green.
Yeah, I think it'll be great. If Chelsea Green shows up, I think it'll be a great win for them.
Phoenix, maybe?
I don't think so. I think Beth will show up in the other match. I think that Finn match, I think Beth shows up to take out Rhea. It could be Beth in that match. That makes a ton of sense because she wants to get her hands on Rhea. But
but then again,
either way,
if it's opening the show, it would present some challenges.
Right? I think it'll be the Judgment Day match because it's an excuse to play Edge's music and have Beth come out with Edge. Because they're still all feuding with each other, and they probably will likely feud for the next 5 years or so, because that's what seems to be happening. Yeah. But I'm looking forward to the event. I'll probably not watch it live. With family in town and everything. I think that's the last day they'll be here. So I'll probably catch it either late on Saturday. Definitely not staying up till 4 a.m.
I was going to say, maybe put it in your phone for a 2 a.m. scheduled.
Maybe I get up early so we can record at our normal time on Sunday, and that'll be it.
Yeah, there we go. We'll figure it out. No, it should be an awesome show. I know those who are listening and watching us, first of all, thank you for being here. I know there's a lot of excitement around the community for this show. So can't wait to talk about it with you on the next episode.
Well, Tyler, I think it's time to get into our talk about AEW Full Gear 2022. This was I'll give you my thoughts. I want to know your thoughts about the event overall before we go through some of the matches.
Yeah, I thought this was an awesome show, Brad. So much of the booking made sense to me. The in-ring work was good to great. And there was a real elevation, no pun intended, of a lot of the homegrown talent, which I think you and I have been clamoring for a while now. Of course, we love seeing the signings and returning superstars get their nods, which still happened on this show, but there seemed to be a real emphasis in the people we've cheered for since day one of AEW to get their shine. So I loved it, man. This was a fun show. This was the second year in a row where I thought Full Gear was just one of the best times I've had watching a show all year. And I have very little, if any, complaints. This was a blast. How about you?
Yeah, I have similar feelings. There were a lot of people that were hard on some of the matches, or at least one of them, and I thought it was unfairly. The only thing that I thought was fair criticism was Cole Carter taking out his team because he went to the wrong side.
I haven't seen any discussion of that online or anywhere. Can we just briefly touch on? I think, again, obviously we have so much respect. We can't emphasize this enough. We have so much respect for the performers who do this, right? They're amazing. Clearly that has to have been a moment where he just got caught up, didn't realize. It was just snafu city, right? Obviously no one's talking about it.
Yeah, it was really bad. It was
What
the
was that?
kid. It was the middle school basketball player that gets a
Yes.
fast break on his own
Yes.
hoop. Is all I could think.
I've
The whole
seen a
time
few of
I was
those in my day.
going by,
Yes.
and it's all I could think is that kid's about to score on his own team.
And even
And
the move itself, it wasn't like just a straight suicide dive or
no,
it was
that
just
Topi Con
very
hero, right?
yeah,
Like,
it
wasn't
was
it
this
an over the top flip?
flip. It yeah, like I think I've seen Swerve do a move similar to that. The move itself was just very unique, I guess we can say. And then yeah, when you and I
Yeah,
think both
taking
had
out
the
your own teammates is
you
unique.
you and I had the realization of we were watching and it was like, okay, first this move is really strange, and then also did he just take out
Yeah, well,
his
Taz said
entire
it on
factory?
commentary. Taz is like, well, that was definitely a mistake.
Taz was
Or
great
it's
on
definitely
commentary.
unintended. I think he was great last night.
Yeah, he popped me.
Can't say enough about how great the commentary was. And then people would say something, and Taz would be like, "Yeah, I think you were supposed to lay out there," and just like he was commenting on the commentary all night. I think just to pop Excalibur while he was trying to do his job.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was so good. I wish I remembered some of the anecdotes. I should have written them down, but
Yeah.
he was kind of poking fun at Excalibur, and
Yeah.
you know, Excalibur was poking back. So yeah, it was a blast, man. I really enjoyed 0 Hour. I love that on these pre-shows, it's very wrestling focused, and I think
Yeah.
that's kind of a double-edged sword in some ways because a lot of the fan base, you and I included, really try to catch 0 Hour from beginning to end because we know that it could be some really awesome matches.
Yeah.
But then by the end of the event, I think there's some real fatigue amongst the fan base of, oh wow, we've been watching for 5 hours. And as much as we love the talent and the matches, that's just a really long time to commit to the show. But 0 Hour was great. Like you said, that 10-man was fun. I'm glad Orange Cassidy, best friends, and Danhausen, your guy, the evil Danhausen, I'm glad they got their moment. Eddie Kingston was a blast.
Yeah.
Ricky Starks picked up the victory against Brian Cage. I think Brian Cage has put on some really great matches as of late. I think his stock was kind of trending downward for a while, but so glad to see him back and doing well. And like I said, the Kingston match was great. Seeing how much that match meant to Eddie, seems like on a personal level, was just amazing. And I don't know if you caught this, Brad. I think you did. His final sell to us to buy the pay-per-view was the content I didn't know I needed.
It was the
Saturday.
best promo of the weekend, outside of the best press conference promo since All Out, I guess. I don't know if you got did you see the MJF promo after?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
We'll have to talk about that, but
we will. Yeah.
I really liked that match. I liked all the 0 Hour matches. I didn't love the Starks Cage match, but I really liked it. I thought it was great for what it was. I don't think it was any surprise who was going to win that, but what I particularly loved was Ethan Page on commentary for the match. I thought that was great way to build it. He's like, I don't care who wins, I hope they beat the shit out of each other. He just wanted him hurt going into the match on Wednesday, which I thought was great. The Danhausen coming out, different theme, blood on the mouth, a jar full of teeth, and then doing the spot that we've seen him do on the indies where he pours the teeth in the mouth and then kicks him in the face, was awesome. And I love that they can't do anything about it because teeth aren't foreign objects, and that was the idea behind it. So how do you disqualify him for that when it's
a cool touch?
Yeah, I thought that was cool. Really like that they made him kind of a killer in there, much smaller than everybody, but all of his moves were off of momentum, which I really appreciated. So he hit a couple of Germans that were all off the rope Germans and stuff. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, he came in hot.
Yeah. Eddie and Akiyama was the inspiration for Eddie to become a wrestler. So it was really cool to see him wrestle. And then he bowed. He did the really low, very respectful bow to Akiyama, who gave it back to him. And at that moment, you just see Eddie lose it. He was already crying, but when he got that bow, he's just losing his mind. And then he got up from that emotional thing to buy the pay-per-view promo. And then he's like, I'm immediately after the match, I'm going to see Doc Samson because he's already hurt. I thought it was great. It was funny. It was lighthearted. It was perfect.
Yeah, and he got the time cue. I think he said from Bryce, meaning Bryce Remsburg.
Yeah, probably.
But he kept alluding to, okay, how much time? Okay, I got 3 minutes. I got 2 minutes.
And then when he cut it off, he's
and
like,
then
they finally
said, okay, they said it's over. Goodbye, everyone. And then
he apologized to Excalibur.
Yeah,
it's got to
I,
be
I
by scale every
also
time. Yeah.
again something that not many people are talking about, which is why you come here for gimmick infringement. I also loved Ortiz's fit. Did you notice that male version of Kill Bill?
Yes.
That was kind of popping. I
100%.
really like that. I'm not
Yeah, I
saying
like
I
it
could
too.
pull it off, but I think he was rocking it.
No, it was a good look. Yeah, I thought all of it was great. I love that he apologized to Excalibur for it for needing 2 minutes or whatever it was. They're like, Excalibur needs 2 minutes to sell it. And then while he was talking, Shivani's like, he only needs 30 seconds. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
There were a lot of little things in this pay-per-view that I really appreciated. And that was just the 0 hour. And then, of course, 0 hour, as we know, always ends with the entrance of one JR, Jim Ross, the voice of wrestling. So I thought that was really cool that he's always off the 0 hour. And then they make him a big deal. He's there for the big moments. He's there for the big shows. I love that. I love how they're using JR right now. Because frankly, he's not JR of 25 years ago. But he's still JR and he lends that credibility. So I really appreciate that they do that.
Oh, absolutely. JR in many ways is similar to, say, Sting for me. That I think we have to, if I can borrow one of your, I think one of your favorite activities that you use in class, Brad, I think we have to give these talents their flowers while they're here and while we are fortunate enough to not just sound like a total shill, but while we're fortunate enough to watch them at work, JR, Sting, etc. These people that you and I grew up with,
Braun
they're
Strowman.
still, yeah. Never again. After this episode, he's not going to be brought up except when he faces Gunther for the IC title.
Yeah.
And may win. Who knows?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I don't want to speak it into existence. No, I just like you. I really enjoy seeing JR. Again, we can have our moments where it's like, JR, did you say that? That was, I don't know if I would do that. I really enjoy him. And, I don't think in 5 years he's still going to be on commentary. So I think it's important that we just enjoy the good that he brings to the commentary booth. Yeah, 0 hour was a blast. I totally agree with you. And the show kicked off in a really fun way as well, Brad. We were speaking about homegrown talents. I know we don't want to necessarily go through every single match on here. Do you want to read through the results and then kind of speak to what stood out to us? What are you feeling like?
Sure. Yeah, let's go through some of the. We'll cruise through the results, then we'll talk about maybe our favorite matches.
Yeah.
Maybe our top 3 because we were talking about it off air. Jungle Boy defeated Luchasaurus in a great steel cage match. This was a fun match. It was booked in a way that made a ton of sense. There was a lot of really great moments. The sneaky Christian Cage stealing the key. All of it was so good.
With one hand.
Death Triangle defeated the Elite. And I was like, this was my pick for match of the night. I think that probably delivered. And it gave us something, Tyler. It gave us a best of 7 series. And I love that they set it up ahead of time. Like, I think we're all okay, or fans are going to be okay with watching a whole bunch of rematches if that's what the story is, a la what Booker T did back in the day. So I think doing a best of 7 makes a ton of sense. Jade Cargill, of course, defeated Nyla Rose. Huge pop for Nyla giving Jade a jaded. I thought that was a pretty fun match. Chris Jericho defeated Bryan Danielson, Claudio Castagnoli, and Sammy Guevara. Congratulations on getting that pick right. I thought for sure it would be somebody else. Saraya defeated Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. I have thoughts on this match, and I think I was much higher on this match than what a lot of people were. It's Saraya's first match back in 5 years. I enjoyed it. Samoa Joe defeated Wardlow and Powerhouse Hobbs. We were both wrong. I don't know if you're disappointed, but I am. I love Samoa Joe, but I really felt like it was Hobbs' time. But this was a triple threat. My guess is that Hobbs is going to take the strap off of Joe. That makes the most sense down the road. Sting and Darby defeated Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. There was that guitar spot that was awesome. There was some fun stuff in this match. It's Sting and Darby, and it's Jeff Jarrett, who, my God, is that dude in great shape for his age?
Thank you.
Like,
yes,
oh my God. Jamie Hayter. Finally, it's a
go.
Hayter era. I am so happy. I had two things happen this week that I'm endlessly happy about. Takeshita is all elite. Jamie Hayter is TNT Women's Champ.
Big
interim champ. Yes. I don't know what that's going to mean when she faces Thunder Rosa, if and when she comes back. The Acclaimed defeated Swerve in Our Glory when Keith Lee bailed on Swerve after Swerve slapped him in the face. boy, are those matches going to be fun. MJF defeated John Moxley with the help of William Regal. Not really sure where that story goes. I also don't love the turn, like at all. MJF is a really good heel, but who do you have now that's like a really good heel or a really good babyface in the company that's not a Shades of Grey babyface that can challenge him? I don't know that you have anybody right now because the fans didn't seem to care that he cheated to win. The fans seem pumped that now it's MJF and Regal and not just MJF. But then he cut that generational promo at the end. So at the press conference where he didn't really talk to he talked at the media, but not talked with or to the media. It was just, I'm going to tell you what's up, cut a promo and then dipped. Amazing. But Tyler, what are your thoughts about the matches? What are your favorite matches for the night? What match stood out to you that maybe you didn't have as a top match that ended up getting there?
Mm-hmm. We have to start with Jamie Hayter becoming champion. First of all, Brad, somehow I did not realize her finisher is called Haterade, which is amazing.
Yes.
Now, if Jamie pulls a Tiffany Stratton and appears on Dynamite with cornrows, I'm going to be out on this whole presentation, but I don't think she's going to. We are absolutely here for the Hayter era. I thought her and Toni Storm completely delivered.
Love the new gear, by the way. Her new gear was great.
Yes.
And the hair, great.
The hair, the name of the finisher, which I just discovered somehow, the music, the Haters gonna hate, like everything is just absolutely working for the audience. I mean, just seeing her organic rise, to have the Acclaimed rise the way that they are, or have risen, I guess is a better way to phrase it, and to see Jamie Hayter's ascension, it's so wonderful to see these talents that we all clearly audibly love being recognized backstage and being given these spots to be elevated. So yeah, it starts for me with Hayter and Storm. I didn't love the Rebel and Britt Baker interference. You and I spoke before we recorded here. I could totally see the logic of if and when Britt turns on Jamie imminently, Britt can say, you wouldn't even be champion if it weren't for me. Of course, Jamie could say the same thing back for Britt's reign, but I could see storyline how that makes sense. I just would have preferred, frankly, Jamie just winning clean. I thought that would have been much better. I thought it was a little too overbooked for my taste, but I love this match. The crowd was clearly invested. The steel cage match was awesome. I think it deserves a little bit more love online. I think because it was the first match, we just sort of forgot about it. Yeah, because the pay-per-view was just an absolute marathon. I really enjoyed what Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus did here. To have the elbow drop off the top of the cage into the snare trap and Luchasaurus gushing blood from his mouth. Just a great way to kick off the show and a great win for Jungle Boy. I could really see him being in the TNT title picture, maybe even as soon as come Revolution. I don't think Samoa Joe will be the champ, as you said, maybe a Hobbs v Jungle Boy or thereabouts. I loved the trios match. This is the last one I'm going to shout out. I also love the trios match. When these six guys entered the ring, Brad, I thought about your tweet over the weekend. We had a poll at GIA Pod 19 of which match was going to be match of the night. And you said MJF versus Moxley was likely going to give us the moment of the night, but the match of the night would be the trios. I like how you put this on Twitter with about 6 U's, just edging out Hayter versus Storm. When I saw these 6 guys enter, Death Triangle and the Elite, I thought about what you said, and I almost went on Twitter to change my pick because I love Death Triangle so much. And then the Elite's return. The song, Brad, Wayward Son.
Yes.
I don't know how many times you went back on Twitter to watch their entrance, but it's been multiple for me. It was so cool. I had not heard that song before. I didn't even know who Kansas was. I know. Just a lot of revelations for me. Never heard that. Never heard of Kansas. I know. So, but I looked it up after they entered, like with the fire and the finger gun and the Bucks singing it. I had to look it up. And
that song rules.
Now it's been added to the playlist.
Yeah.
That match was incredible. Love Jade and Nyla getting their spotlight on the show. Super important. Great Nyla entrance. And Jade as a Thundercat, just a total real life movie star. Just in front of us in the ring. And then finally, and then I want to kick it to you. There was so much to talk about from this card. I really enjoyed Britt and Saraya like you did. And then finally for MJF to win the big one. Perfect way to end the show. Dude has had so much momentum. Like you said, he's been cheered as a babyface in nearly every town they've been in since his return. I mean, really, even since that promo after Double or Nothing, the fans have just really turned to cheering for Max. I saw the William Regal turn coming.
Yeah,
so I wasn't shocked, and I didn't necessarily pop for it the way I thought I would, for lack of a better term. But it makes perfect sense, and I can't wait to see what an MJF Regal mentor mentee relationship is going to look like. So those are the matches that stood out to me in terms of match of the night. I'm going to go with Hayter and Storm, and I don't have any regrets about that.
I'm going to go. I'm same. I don't really that Death Triangle Elite match. It was, as a wrestling match, it was a Young Bucks wrestling match. So it was a lot of choreographed spots that not everybody loves, but as a wrestling match, it's Hayter and Storm. I don't even think it's close. I loved Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, Crimson Mask right out of the gate. The just getting ragdolled into the cage, just so much stuff in there was great. That elbow drop off the top was, if you're going to do it and make sure that you make contact, but also like land sort of on your side so you don't destroy all of your body while taking the blow. I don't know if he was supposed to land on him or not. He made just contact with his elbow, with his like tricep, and still managed to put the man through the table. So that hurt. That had to hurt. And then putting him into the snare trap was incredible. Like that one had drama. That one mattered. I really, really, really loved that one. I think the fans are pretty invested in it too. It's like, this was Jurassic Express, and now it's just done. But it's not done, because that Christian Cage match is going to happen at some point.
Absolutely.
Death Triangle versus the Elite. We've seen this before. It's not like it's a new match for us, and we're going to see it 6 more times. And you know what? I'm fine with it.
It's going 7 for sure.
Yeah, 100%. It was great. So I'm good with it.
I was so stunned by Death Triangle winning, by the way.
I was shocked.
There were a few moments on the show, which is, I think, part of why I thought it was so successful, that I
agreed.
just did not see coming. Obviously, you mentioned Samoa Joe winning. I did not foresee that. But this was probably the biggest shock for me. I thought it was a foregone conclusion that the Elite were going to retain. So I was happily surprised.
I don't know what House of Black does, though. So we know they're coming back. My guess is they're returning on Wednesday, like the show after the pay-per-view. Would make a lot of sense if people were interested to see what happens with MJF's reign, with Jamie Hayter's reign. We're going to go and watch and see what goes down. That's a great spot. Or new Samoa Joe champ. A lot of new champs on this show. The only one that retained, there was 2, right? Death Triangle and, there were 3, because Ring of Honor was on this card. Death Triangle, Acclaimed,
and Jericho.
So 4, Jericho and Jade. So there were 4 retained. So it feels like there's just way too many belts. If we had 3 champions, 3 new champions, but 4 people retained, my God, that's nuts. So the Samoa Joe Wardlow Powerhouse Hobbs match was okay. There were some moments in it that were great. It wasn't the best thing in the world, but it was good. No. It was fine.
Yeah, it wasn't even in the conversation for match of the night. It wasn't.
No,
it wasn't even upper half for me. But yeah,
it had its place.
Cool to see them there.
It had its place. Saraya versus Britt Baker. So I want to say this. I thought it was fine. It was a wrestling match. It looked like a wrestling match. It didn't look like a flashy match. It didn't look like a really clean match. There was some sloppy stuff in there, but I don't know. It looked like a wrestling match to me. I thought it was fine. Was it great? No. Was it the best match of the night? Absolutely not. Not even kind of close. It wasn't the best women's match. It was top 3 women's match of the night. I'll say that for sure. Sting and Darby, it was fun. There were a lot of fun matches that I didn't really care about that were like, that was fine. Jamie Hayter and Tony Storm, I thought, were the clear winners here. I thought the MJF thing would be moment of the night, but honestly, the moment of the night might not have been anything but Eddie Kingston. And it wasn't even on the show. He might have had moment of the night, unless you count MJF after the show. But I really like the Acclaimed beating Swerve. I think we knew that was coming. That was a really good match. A lot of story in that match. It made sense. I will say that MJF John Moxley match had incredible psychology. I loved him working the body part the whole time. I just thought it was great. It was like an extended squash match until kind of toward the end where things switched a little bit, but it was kind of a long squash, and then the brass knucks came out.
Yeah. It was again, maybe not surprising, but it was perfect for him to put away the diamond ring, only to be substituted by Regal sliding the knucks. And Regal was so smooth with it because he comes out and he tells, after 2 ref bumps, he tells Mox, because Mox has MJF in the bulldog choke. MJF taps out. He tells Mox, hey, you got to go get the ref. So obviously Mox is going to get the ref, and then Regal you could see him sort of reach in his pocket. I was like, oh, William Regal, you sly dog. Mm-hmm. You are turning. And it was really, it was so fascinating to see the crowd reaction, Brad, because Jamie Hayter has basically been a heel up to this point, right, in her AEW run. We know she's switching to babyface, but the DMD faction has been a heel faction. For Jamie to get cheered the way she was, and then for MJF, who's clearly turned back to being a heel, right, the devil himself, for him to just get the absolute babyface welcome was pretty jarring to see the New Jersey crowd cheer who they love instead of just going with the traditional storyline. Here's who I'm supposed to cheer because they're good. Here's who I'm supposed to boo because they're bad. It was really fascinating. I just finally want to say something I love from the show was Mox embracing working heel in this match. I popped for him giving the middle fingers to the crowd on several occasions.
Yes.
It just made me so happy. Hopefully my mother's not listening because she's from New Jersey. Sorry, Mom, if you are. But for him to just tell Newark how he was feeling about them, I just love that. And I hope he goes on vacation because the man certainly deserves it. That dude has been a workhorse all year.
Yeah, he needs to go on vacation. Now that the Elite is back. Oh, okay. So a couple of things here. We need to talk about this. Number one, in their schedule, I believe it's in either December or January. There's a hole where there's going to be a week. There's a couple of weeks, one in December, one in January. That's what it is, where they're not having a match in their best of 7 series. And one of them, I believe, is the one in January for Wrestle Kingdom. We are getting Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay at the Tokyo Dome. So I have not ordered a New Japan pay-per-view, but it's happening for that. That is absolutely something I'm here for. I can't wait for that. The second thing I want to bring up is Tyler, the crowd didn't just turn on John Moxley. The FCM Punk and Colt Cabana chants were out in full force when the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega came back to the ring. They were loud. They were persistent. And it looked a little bit like the Elite was leaning into it a little bit. I'm not sure if that was something some people online had said, and I think it might have been more for the Colt Cabana chance than for the FCM Punk chance. They probably left that one alone. But yeah, man, I thought it was really interesting to hear an entire city of people coming out after CM Punk. I still hope CM Punk and AEW and the roster can figure out a way to make it work. I love the dude's work. I think he's an in-ring talent that is just criminally underrated in terms of storytelling. He doesn't have that look of a big wrestler or anything, but he's just so good. I just wish he wasn't such a piece of shit. Like having to go to those press conferences and bury people publicly because he got his feelings hurt. Like, just get out of here. So,
and now he's off the game cover, right? That was news that broke over the weekend.
Right.
He's been taken off AEW Fight Forever. We're assuming he's still a playable character in the game.
Yeah, I can't believe I wouldn't believe that deal was probably worked out a long time before. I doubt there's anything in there about getting like rights or getting a bonus for being on the cover. Mm-hmm. If that was worked into his deal, he'll probably still get paid for it, even if he's not on there. That's my guess with something like that. But to take him out of the game at this point seems pretty stupid. They've been marketing it for a year and a half that the game is coming out. Everybody at the games convention says that it's great. It's a throwback. It's like No Mercy.
Yeah,
So I'm stoked for it.
I think it looks super cool.
I think it looks great. It looks like the graphics don't look great. They're not supposed to. It's supposed to be an arcade game. So I don't care if the graphics look kind of cartoonish.
I mean, you can have thumbtacks in the game. Like that's pretty. You sold me a ticket there.
There were so many different weapons in the game. Like, if they have Minneapolis Street Fight as an option, I'm probably not going to buy it. But
no, let's hope not. But you get Jade, like you get the Jade entrance or part of it. I mean, come on, you and I will be acquiring this one way or another. The 19 credit card.
They need to put FTR in the game, and then I'll think about it.
We need FTR back on pay-per-view. I think in terms of omissions from the show, man. I mean, obvious names, right? FTR, Miro, Andrade. Women's side, right? We would love to see Hikaru Shida here. I think Riho is deserving of having a major spot, but FTR needs to be on the Revolution card, man. I don't know how you feel about that, but I think some of your hallmarks are Jamie Hayter and FTR in terms of your favorite talents on the roster. To me, all signs would point to FTR versus the Acclaimed in San Francisco in March Revolution, but we'll see. I do know, Brad, speaking of updates, AEW making its Arizona debut in February. This was way more of a newsworthy week than I thought. Yes. Now that I listen to your updates and I just think about the news this past week about that February show, February 22nd, Footprint Center, Phoenix, Arizona. We've been clamoring for this for months, if not literal years. Yeah. How excited are you that they're coming to the Southwest, Brad?
I can't wait, man. Like it's how long have we been waiting for this? Like we had all the Dailies Play stuff, and then it was finally they're going out on the road. And I think their first away from Dailies spot was Miami. And then it started going to other places. And then we're like, all right, we're next. It's a huge market. They went to LA. We're like, we're close. We're going to be next. And they just kept skipping Arizona. Like Canada got it before we did. There's a UK show announced before Arizona, and now Arizona. So really, really excited that they're coming here. I don't know how to make it work. I'm going to try to figure something out. I don't know that going there and then driving back to school on a Wednesday evening, Thursday morning is the way that it's going to be. So I'll have to figure something out. Hopefully I have sick days left at that point. I think I have 2. I got to keep at least 1 in the chamber there. But yeah, it's happening regardless. I'm going.
Love it.
I can't wait.
Yeah, man. So excited. No, this was a really fun show. I thought this was an absolute blast. I'm really eager to see what the next few months of booking looks like leading to Revolution. But at the top of the card, again, you have Jade, you have Jamie Hayter, the Acclaimed, MJF. I think AEW is in a really healthy spot to end the year. There's been so much turmoil and with the ROH and AEW kind of splitting time on the weekly product. My hope is that as you and I are fans of the product, just like we are of WWE, I really hope that this is a sign that the company is trending upward to end the year and we can just see these really talented people do their thing.
Yeah, I totally agree. I thought this was a really good pay-per-view. I don't think it was like the greatest pay-per-view ever, but I thought it was a really solid show. I thought there were some great matches that we're probably going to go back to. Some really good moments. Hayter winning was great. Man, that match was fun. They were so good. I hope Tony's okay. Hopefully she got a bloody nose and not a broken nose. Really because we're still waiting on. I mean, we're still waiting on Ruby to come back. So
Adam Cole.
Well, right? Adam Cole.
He's doing okay.
Man, I don't know if he'll ever wrestle again. I'm hoping. I hope he can pull out of this
scary,
really gnarly concussion situation. And
that was at Forbidden Door, right in the forward.
Yeah. That was forever ago. So was it early June? Forbidden Door, I think.
So. Yeah, it was sometime in June, I believe.
With Adam Cole out, CM Punk out, Kyle O'Reilly out, the Elite they were gone. And we just have all of these. we have all of these stars and all of this talent that's there. It's really still mystifying why Miro's not there. And we have House of Black coming back, which is going to be a big boost, I think. We have
you mentioned that. Yeah. So excited for that. Let's sign me up, please.
MJF is champ. Lots to look forward to. And I do like heel Athena. I think heel Athena is going to be a really
Dex
good...
Aubrey.
Yes.
Oh,
that was crazy. I think she was the last. Was she the last ref to take a bump? I think it might have been one other ref, but I think he might be the ROH ref. I can't remember. Hasn't taken a ref bump in AEW, but it was not a little ref bump either.
No, I love this. If we get Mercedes Martinez versus Athena, heel Athena at ROH Final Battle next month, I would absolutely be in full support of that. And frankly, I think that's a time where you crown Athena.
Yeah,
let it be her moment. Let me ask you this, Brad, before we totally leave AEW. I need a prediction from you. Revolution, March 2023, California. Who gets the women's title and men's title matches? So who is Jamie Hayter facing and who is MJF facing?
I mean, by that point, Jamie Hayter, Britt Baker, more than likely, but it's probably going to be, I don't know. That's not really that long when you break it down in shows. What is that? 4, 8, 12, maybe 13 or 14 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Thunder Rosa unify the titles. Or not unify, but crown who is the champion, not interim anymore.
So what happens if Thunder Rosa can't wrestle anymore? If she has to retire, it's no longer interim. You just drop the interim.
I think so. Yeah, we don't.
I mean, I don't know what else. Yeah, so
Britt is right there, though. Obviously,
yeah. She says she's had good days, bad days. So it's a great question. I don't know. Maybe somebody new that we haven't considered or haven't thought of could show up.
Mercedes Moné is your answer. We want Jade versus Mercedes. I think that's where any Mercedes Moné match. Do you think she goes to AEW or are we still?
No, I don't think so.
We have no idea.
Well, I don't know because that's like
Japan. Right?
TBS has like this weird partnership with Disney. Like they show a lot of Star Wars on TBS and TNT, right? Like a lot of Star Wars. Hell, growing up, that was USA Network would have it and TBS would have it. The Star Wars marathons would happen on Christmas Eve. And I would always watch them. I'll probably do it again this year because it's just my thing. Unless I can actually get away with watching basketball. Otherwise, it'll be that. But it's just so hard. Nobody else is interested around here. So that would make a lot of sense. They have television products that would get her exposure where, like, let's say she goes to a Mexican promotion or to New Japan or something. She's not going to get the star exposure that she would in the States on national broadcast television. She might be done with wrestling. She might be done with in-ring performances and maybe do something else. Or she might be just like, I want to be a part-timer. I want to show up and be awesome and have like a CM Punk run or a Sting type run in AEW. That would make a lot of sense, and I'm sure Tony would pay her. So I don't know if she ends up showing up in AEW, that's going to shift everything. Like that will shift everything. So hopefully that happens because I would love to see a bigger fight between the two companies. But yeah, man, I'm thinking Britt and Jamie are the no-brainers, or maybe a fatal 4-way. Maybe Tony doesn't like how she lost and Thunder Rosa is back for the interim. And we have Hayter and maybe we have Britt in there, or maybe it's just a triple threat. I would like to see that too. Kind of like what they did with the ROH title with maybe Britt turns. Cause that's how it started with them, right? When Jamie was going to split. Mm-hmm. So
exactly.
We'll see what happens for the men's side of things.
Yeah.
A lot harder to predict who that first opponent's going to be. I have absolutely no idea who that first opponent will be at the pay-per-view. Babyface wise, I would kind of love to see MJF and Miro because I think that matchup could be really interesting. A babyface Miro and a heel MJF, if that's where they're going. Because otherwise, I don't really know who the big babyface is outside of maybe Danielson. Mm-hmm. We've already seen Mox.
Yeah, and Danielson's still walking out of the heel tunnel.
Yeah, he's always shades of gray. So we'll see what
Right.
happens now that maybe Blackpool Combat Club splits.
Mhm.
I don't really know what that is, or maybe that was just Regal kicking him out. But after the match was over, the rest of the Blackpool Combat Club came to wake up Mox, and Mox looked like he didn't know what happened.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, that was great.
so I'm not really sure who the clear person is. Man, I'm like really trying here. Maybe,
That's what we like though. It's nice to not always have
yeah.
necessarily a direct path. You can make a case for Danielson, right, defending the honor of BCC, but your Miro idea is awesome, and maybe there's a name that we're just not
I
thinking of
mean,
who could really get elevated.
it makes sense to have him beat Mira or Wardlow again. They had that
There's
match
a
before.
that match needs to happen in 23 for the title. Absolutely,
Yeah, and I'm
maybe
not
double or
now that
nothing.
he lost. I think maybe they want him in the main title picture. Maybe that's why he lost.
Mhm.
Or maybe it's like whatever his name is, Big Cass. I can't remember what it is. Maybe you have him do it because he's still feuding with the firm. We think we're not sure because we know we're probably gonna get. My guess is it's going to be Ethan Page and not Ricky Starks. I imagine there'll be some sort of tomfoolery happening that costs Starks the match.
But my heart is in shambles now. You know, I'm holding out hope that we get Ricky.
I'd rather see Ethan lose to MJF than Ricky lose to MJF,
Wow.
especially going in there injured. You know, MJF's not losing for a long time. So,
Of course. I just can't wait for
and he
the
shouldn't.
Ricky Max face off.
Oh, it's going to be so good.
Yeah, but obviously
Um,
Ethan Page is incredible too. Right?
Ethan Page will be a really good face off too because you also get Stokely Hathaway. So there's a lot of really good potential back and forth happening
Yeah.
with those guys. I think that could be incredible. I think Ricky could hold his own against MJF just fine. So yeah, I don't really know. Who do you think? Like I'm trying to rattle off all these baby faces or potential turns,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I know what. Forget all that stuff. Malachi Black. That's who I want first. I don't. He doesn't need to. He doesn't need to come out and cut a promo against MJF. You can just do a vignette and just like I don't know, show a picture of him and he's sacrificing something in front of it. Like it doesn't just creepy as shit.
Yeah.
Like
Julia Blackheart in the background.
yeah, maybe he has to go through all of the House of Black, starting with Brody King.
I mean, you know, I would love that. My answers would be Britt Baker. I agree with you that seems like the clear storyline. Britt is arguably still the biggest star in the women's division. You want her in a prominent spot on a pay per view. So Britt versus Jamie, sign me up. And then I do believe it's going to be Danielson. I think storyline wise, that just makes the most sense. Him defending the honor of Blackpool Combat Club, some interaction perhaps with Regal. Again, we know the show is going to be on the West Coast. Danielson's not from California, but he's a West Coast guy. Danielson, I think, is going to be the match. But man, your names that you mentioned just have my have my mouth watering over here. Miro versus MJF, Malachi. I could see even Keith Lee getting a match
Yes.
in 23
Oh,
at some
yes.
point. I mean, all the Max being champion is not only cathartic for us, but just fantasy booking these potential matchups. Even if we know Max is probably going to carry the strap for a long time, I need to see all of these matchups you listed off.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good ones in there, and there's also like, for all I know, it's going to be Jungle Boy. I wouldn't hate it.
Hangman, when Hangman comes back, right?
Oh man, yeah, Hangman coming back, that would be great too. Hopefully he's doing well.
Yes, that's
That was frightening. So yeah, I can't off the top of my head think of anybody else that they have right now that's not Orange Cassidy or one of the best friends, which I don't want to see that. Although Orange and Max would be fun because Orange would just be like, "Hey, I want to fight you," and that would probably be it. And that could be funny. It could be potentially gold to have a Danhausen match in there at some point, because those two like Twitter beef all the time, and they're very clearly on good working relationship terms. So I think that could be fun. Danhausen would get killed by Max, but it could be a blast just to see it all develop and unfold. I don't know who, if MJF is the top heel in the company, I don't know who the next person is as a heel in the company at the top. Your biggest heel in the company isn't probably in the company anymore, and that's CM Punk. you could have him come back and be the biggest heel. I don't know if he would be if he came back. He would have to like interfere in an elite match. Like it would have to cost, like if he came back and cost the elite the 7th match in some way, God, that would be amazing. I would absolutely love to see that.
Yeah, and we know he's boys with FTR, so the trios feud is right there for the taking. The Bucks and FTR have history. There's so much money to be made from a Punk return that, to your point from way earlier in the pod, Brad, if they can just find a way to bring him in, if Punk is on his best behavior, so to speak, there's storyline wise, money wise, it would make so much sense for this to happen. I hope they can figure it out. I may not be optimistic, but man, there is so much for him left to do in AEW if he wants.
I agree. Totally agree.
Yeah. Well, Brad, we always try to spread gratitude here on GI, and it is extra fitting this week because we are heading into Thanksgiving, and I think it's time for our segment, GI is Thankful. So, Brad, we're seeing another Thanksgiving, knock on wood. We are relatively healthy and I think mostly happy, right? Most days. It's time for another Thanksgiving break. I want to know, as we head into Thursday, what are you thankful for, my dude?
Oh, so much. I was trying to compile a list coming into this when I was thinking about grateful and gratitude. And I was like, well, let's do thankful. First and foremost, I'm thankful. I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful that we get to do this. This is a highlight of my week every week. It's something that's a release. We get to talk about pro wrestling and do silly stuff. This is great. I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for the health that I do have. I'm thankful that I'm in a position where I don't have to worry about a lot of things, or at least things that are probably not the most important things to have to worry about that we place importance on. And I'm really thankful that I get to sleep. I get to sleep this week, man. I get to go to sleep and just sleep, and it's going to be so good. I'm thankful that auditions are over. I'm thankful I was able to be a part of it. And I'm thankful that I'm in classes right now that seem to matter, that I'm actually learning stuff instead of just sort of coasting and doing well, but not getting anything that's actually going to benefit me or my family or the world in general. This has been really refreshing. And that's our update for grad school for the week from my end.
You don't want to go 10 more minutes? You take 5.
No.
I take 5.
Yeah, sure? Let's go 15 and 15. I think. Okay. Let's
Next
really
week.
walk them through it. Maybe we can add some PDFs.
I'll bring my modules. I got
Perfect.
Say less.
So yeah, I'm thankful for a lot of things, and I think this is probably going to be a really good Thanksgiving. I'm ready for the break. I'm ready for the food, and I'm ready for some rest. How about you?
Yeah, well said. I want to piggyback off of that last point. I so agree with the food, the rest, the hydrating, everything you said, and then some. Can't wait for it. In terms of being thankful, obviously, totally second what you said, my man. Being here with you every single week, whether it's a morning session, afternoon, sometimes we go in the evening if need be. It's always such a blast. As you know, there's so much I miss about Marana and about Tucson, Arizona, and obviously you're at the top of the list. So of course, really value you. Really thankful for my family, for this job that has just brought a lot of good into my life. It was a huge transition earlier this year, and the fact that I'm getting closer to being there a year is pretty surreal, but very thankful for that. So crazy. Thankful for school, for opportunities, for health, for this beautiful Arizona weather. I think this week here in the Glendale, Phoenix area is slated to be highs of mid to upper 70s, lows in the low 50s. So it's just nice when you can go outside and just really bask in, man, life is pretty beautiful. And like you said, although we run into challenges and stressful situations, when you kind of have when you're grounded enough to realize, okay, What's the issue here? Can we solve this? Let's move on. Let me focus on all the other good in my life. I think that's a really healthy mindset to have. So grateful for you, for the fam, for school, right? For gainful employment, for this lasagna I'm going to eat later, Brad. Just, you could just go down the list, man. I'm just very, very thankful for so much in my life. And of course, really thankful for everyone who's tuning in with us,
Yes.
our listeners, our viewers, our readers. I'm so thankful for GI and the platform it gives us to not only bond and to see each other, but also to talk about wrestling and show, express our passions for this business.
Yeah, well said. I'm looking forward to the week, man.
Yeah, me too. Thank you again. Speaking of thankful, thank you all so much again for hanging with us on this episode. We know we went a little bit longer than last week, but hopefully you enjoyed our full gear thoughts. Hopefully you'll tell us what you thought of the show, what you think about WWE Survivor Series War Games. Let us know. We're at GIPod19 on Twitter. Hopefully there will still be a Twitter by the time you are consuming this episode. Brad, we'll save that for another time. Brad is at, you know this, Wind Duster. Again, at Wind Duster on Twitter. I am at Tyler J. McDowell. Follow the team at 19M Group. You know the roster is talented, and we just can't say enough great things about all of the various shows and content that's a part of the group. And we hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving week. For those who celebrate, enjoy. If you don't celebrate, hopefully you get some time off to relax and just appreciate all that's around you. But we are so thankful for you, and we hope you join us for the next episode of Gimmick Infringement. Gimmick Infringement is a part of 19 Media Group. You can listen to us on Good Pods, our premier partners, and Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube via the 19 Media Group channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.